Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Why don't you stand up? Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. One time, really quiet. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Please stay standing. I am so glad to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. I am the Reverend Christine Dance, and it is my great honor and pleasure to serve as your minister. I use she and her pronouns, and welcome, welcome to worship. Please stay standing for the lighting of our chalice.
So I'm Bill Snowden. I'm your worship associate today. And in case you didn't notice, I'm bouncing back and forth between the choir.
You're doing it very well. I gotta tell you, we like your bounce.
Please join me as we recite our covenant and Joan Gale lights our chalice. If you're watching remotely and have a chalice with you, please light it with us. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in covenant, thus do we covenant. Please be seated.
Welcome to our service. In this sacred place, we celebrate our humanity, our diversity, and the boundless love that unites us all. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, one that is theologically diverse, radically inclusive, and justice-centered. Our doors swing wide open to embrace all who seek a welcoming place. May our worship today be a source of inspiration, of comfort in challenging times, and a call to action. If you are new here, we are so glad you found us. Anyone who's new in the last 6 months, next week we're going to have an opportunity for us to get to know each other a little bit more. I get the chance to meet you a little bit more as well. Anyone new here today? Wave, smile. Yay, welcome. We are so glad that you have found us, and each Sunday is different, sometimes radically different. So come back a few times to get to know us. I do have an announcement, and one of the new people who raised their hands, Isaac Castro, could you stand up, please? I am delighted to introduce our brand new ministerial intern. This is Isaac Castro, who just started on Friday, and we brought him right in with a board retreat all day yesterday, worship today. We thought we'd start gentle with just a small introduction today, but we'll do a more formal greeting next Sunday. Welcome, Isaac. We are so glad for you to be here for a year of learning and joy with us. Yeah. So now, let us settle in and begin our worship. Our opening words are from Unitarian Universalist poet Lynn Unger, which she wrote just a few weeks ago. It's a poem called Unconcerned. Of course, I share your fear, your frustration, the desperate urge to somehow wrest this train back onto the tracks. But this morning, I noticed that the deer are profoundly unconcerned, quietly munching through the graveyard. The ferns and the salal could not be less worried, and the drones are not losing any bark over it. The birds are yelling about what tree belongs to whom, but no guns or bombs are in the picture. The water is not even ruffled, and the mountains, with or without an icing of snow, are entirely at peace. The sky is persistently blue for reasons I have never understood and continues stretching beyond the edges of what I can imagine. Beneath granite markers holding names and dates of military service, the dead are entirely quiet. Nothing is fixed, says Baldwin in his wisdom. Nothing is fixed in place, nothing is resolved, nothing has reached its inevitable conclusion. Unhurried, the deer head off into the forest. I now invite anyone to come forward for Together Time.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Katie Resendez, and I'm the Director of Children's Ministry here at UUC Phoenix. In a world that was very, very far away from here and very, very different from here, but not terribly different, spirituality was really, really important. Spirituality is just a word, and we all kind of give our own meanings to it. So if I'm going to tell a story about a place where spirituality was important, I should probably define that word. Here, we talk about spirituality as the ways and things that we feel that connect us to the greater world. And spiritual practices are the things that we do actively to connect us to that greater world. And sometimes it's true connection, actually meeting with someone, talking to them face to face. Sometimes it's just sitting in and feeling that you are part of a bigger world. In this world, far, far away from our world, spirituality was so important that was the primary focus of the entire world. Some say that our planet runs on money. I think they're wrong. This planet ran on spirituality. So in this planet, In this world, the way that worked was that each person had a different role, and they spent all of their time focused on that spiritual practice. So that meant there were people whose entire role it was in the world to pray. And they would pray individually. Some of them would gather in groups to pray, and they would focus all of their attention and energy on sending out thoughts, sometimes thoughts of love, sometimes thoughts of hope, sometimes prayers of desperation. Sometimes those prayers were done by dancing, sometimes they were sat in silence, sometimes those prayers were written out in beautiful calligraphy in books. And then there were other people whose role was fellowship, feeding spirituality through communion, through friendship. And their whole job was to go out and meet people and talk to them and take care of them and say, "How are you? I'm so invested in how you've been." And some of them did that face-to-face. Some of them did that via text. Some of them did that by writing letters. All sorts of ways by saying, "You and I are in the same community." Their role was fellowship. Some of them had a role of pastoral care, and that meant coming along beside someone when things were hard or when things were exciting, and just being their next to person. Can I be your next to person for a moment?
Okay.
And it was a moment to get to know someone, to be with someone during their hardest part, remembering that sometimes even the good things are hard. Or like if your mom is the director of children's ministry and she makes you do things during the story. And there were people whose job was to worship. I don't want to say job, that was misspoken. Whose role it was to worship. And they danced and they sang and they praised, but sometimes they also there were ones who just sat and looked at flowers or just collected bugs and said, "These are amazing," and set them free again. Each of them had a role. And because everyone in this whole world was focused on spirituality, everyone felt a deep peace with their connection to the world. They felt a deep peace with who they were. The amazing thing was that even if it was your job to meditate, and you meditated by riding a bicycle with no hands, but you meditated by sitting in a perfect lotus position silently for hours, nobody would come in and say, "Your bicycle riding is not meditative, and your position in lotus is wrong, you should be on your head." Because everyone trusted that that person knew what they needed to do to fulfill their role. They trusted that the person was seeking, and even if maybe one day they were off by half a step, they knew that if they kept working on it, they would get to where they needed to be and they'd be able to fulfill the role. And there was enough people surrounding them to also fill the role. So it was never like, "Oh, you coughed during your prayer today and now prayer for everyone is ruined." We knew that all of you were praying, and therefore when he coughed, your heartfelt prayer stepped in and filled the space. And there was enough energy and enough love and enough spirit to do that. And that world was full of a peacefulness of purpose. We don't live in that world. A lot of us are striving every single day to connect with our place in the world, and sometimes that means calling it spirituality, calling it faith, calling it belief. But sometimes it means, do I have a job that will feed my family? Sometimes it means, can I get from the house to the car without my legs giving out? Or can I get through the day without crying because it is 112 degrees? We're all trying to connect ourselves to this planet that we're on, and we're all trying to connect ourselves to each other and to the energy of the world and to our spirituality. And while we can't every single day spend focused on our spirituality, we are pretty amazing because we have chosen every single week to come together and create a time to focus on our spirit. For some of us, that means you've told your jobs, "I can't ever work Sunday," and you lose those hours and those shifts because you choose to be here instead of at work on Sunday. For some of us, it means telling partners, "I know that you're only off Saturday and Sunday, but my Sunday mornings are spoken for. I still love you, but I need to be here." For some of us, it means driving to a friend's house who is ill and sitting with them so that you can watch service online. There are a lot of ways that we adjust our lives so that we can be in here in this room. It might be the one day a week that you feel like dressing up fancy. It might be the one day a week that you don't have to dress up fancy because you don't have to go to work. It might be the one day a week that your whole family does something together. And it might be the one day a week that you get to truly sit on your own without someone asking you for anything. We all come here for different ways. We all come in here in different ways. And we all find ourselves doing different things when we are here. But all of us are gathered together to worship on Sundays. We choose to attend service either here in person or online because we are reaching out and finding that connection with the greater world. We are anchoring ourselves to our spirituality. And in being here, whether you are here or online, I know they're not on the screen, but this is where I look for them. I love, we love, and you love that we are feeding the world by feeding our spirituality. Let's say thank you to one another, turn to one another, and also send an I love you or a heart to those at home who are worshiping with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you for feeding our world.
Each week, we split our offerings between this congregation and an organization that shares our values. This month is a little different, as we are giving not to an organization, but to a family. The family of Hala Halal. Hala lives in Gaza with her children and her mother, and she is raising funds to evacuate the family across the border to Egypt and then fly to Canada. We found Hala through an organization called Gaza Champions, which is a mutual aid network. Gaza Champions stays connected with families in Gaza. They personally confirm that every fund they publicize is honest and true. For all you give, we are so grateful. Ushers, thank you for your willing hands in helping us pass the plate.
We recognize that our lives are interconnected, and part of our journey as a community is sharing our significant milestones, joys, and sorrows. You can put a note in the chat in Zoom if you're online, or if you want us to read your joy or sorrow next week, there's a table right along the back wall at the end of the back of the sanctuary. Today, we have a few joys. So Jennifer says that Adelaide turned 9 this week. Happy birthday to our amazing sweet girl. Happy birthday, Addie. And Jeff Anderla, can you just raise Mr. Board President? Jeff says, after a brief stint of unemployment, I started a new job Monday as a chief operating officer at a local investment firm. Congratulations, Jeff. May they know how lucky they are to have you. From Janelle. Where was Janelle? I saw you come in. There you go. Janelle says, my aunt just finished her first round of chemo and is now waiting for results. We send her our blessings and good luck in this. From Joan Gale and Bill Snowden, they say, our dear friend Ray died on Tuesday, surrounded by family. We will miss his sense of humor and his caring for all people he met. Our deep condolences to you. And Liz Merchant, who I think is still out front. Oh, there you are, Liz. Liz says, I mourn the loss of my friend David Tiedemann. We shared love of music and Maine. He was well known for his collection of Beverly Sills memorabilia. And condolences to you. And I don't see anyone but also I don't see anyone on Zoom. So it's possible that on my first Sunday back, I don't even know what I'm doing. That is very possible. I have next week up. I mean, that's not going to work, is it? So give me just a second to actually see if there's anyone. There you all are. I was like, there's no one on Zoom today? That doesn't make any sense at all. If you put there, if anyone had a joy or sorrow in, if you don't mind putting it back in again. Hello, everyone on Zoom. I see you. In the meantime, let us move into a time of prayer, of meditation, into the Spirit, as we talk today about how to be grounded in these times, how to get off the hamster wheel. And one of the things that I know to be true is that my mind can't find peace if my body is not peaceful. So settle into this time, and let's give our body a chance to settle into this time and space. Close your eyes if you wish. Settle in your seat. Perhaps put your feet on the floor. Get grounded. Feel yourself where you are sitting. And draw attention to your head. And if you just can feel if there's any tension there, if you want to create tension and let it go, sometimes that helps, or just visualize some light in your head and give it some love and peace. Move down to your neck. Release the tension. Offer it some peace. Go to your shoulders. See if they're being pulled up unnecessarily. Just feel some energy and lightness in them and offer them peace. Go down your arms. See if you can feel them be heavy. Let go of the muscles for just a moment and offer them peace. In your hands, do whatever you do to release tension. Ungrip your hands, move them, shake them out, or just let them hang limp and offer them peace. Go back to your chest, your heart. This is where I feel anxiety right there. Just feel some space open up in your chest cavity. Offer it some peace and comfort. In your belly, your gut, your area when we say that I feel it in my gut, that is tension, that is knowing. Give gratitude and peace to that. Your hips where you are seated, where many people hold tension as well. Just feel them and let them let loose. And give them some peace. Go down your legs to your thighs. Maybe tense them just a little bit and then let them relax. Send them peace. And your calves. Feel what might be tight there and just let it go. And offer it peace. And your last place in your feet, make sure your toes are unclenched. Your feet just can feel heavy against the floor that are supporting them. And send them some peace. And now just take a moment and however works for you and integrate it all. Feel the light flowing through your whole body. Feel the energy. Give gratitude. Send a little extra love to wherever it needs it. Say to it, I see you. I know we're in this together. And together, let us find peace, if only for a moment. May your spirit feel peace. May your body feel peace. May your mind feel peace. May all that you love experience peace. May our world find peace. Amen. And blessed be.
Come and find the quiet center.
Through the wonders of television, radio, social media, on our phones and computers, we are bombarded with upsetting and frightening news, whether it's devastating wildfires, plane crashes, wars, mass shootings, or leaders who don't have the same values as we do. As I move through my 75th year, it seems like things are more difficult to handle than they were when I was young. I'm lucky that I've established many requirements of good self-care, like a good diet and regular exercise. Other than lifestyle, I really look to community to help me make sense of what's around me. An example of my community is the choir here at UUCP. Our practice on Wednesday nights during the year is a good place to share conversation and ideas with people I know well. It seemed more important this year because this summer, when the choir didn't meet, I really felt the loss of these friendships. Joan Gale, my wife, suggested we invite a choir member and their spouse to share a meal with us on Wednesday nights during the summer. Though time and opportunity didn't allow us to meet with everyone we wanted to, these weekly dinners were so successful that we were invited to enjoy people's company on several additional nights during many of these weeks. Sharing our stories has eased the burden of this difficult time and helped to make it one of the most enjoyable summers I've spent in a long time.
Oh, we have one more song.
Oh, yes, we did, thank you.
I know this
I
is
don't remember how to do this.
this extra song. It always feels like a little unnecessary.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Sing.
So here's one more song for y'all. It's by a woman who goes by KJ Song, and it's called "Slow Down Long Enough." And choir just learned it this morning. And choir, let's stand.
Slow down long enough so you can feel the river, the one beneath the ground, the one under your skin. What if you
Now is when I preach. Preach. Feels so good to be back. So during my 5 months of sabbatical, one of the things we did in May, I believe, is went to see the writer and radical preacher Nadia Bolz-Weber. She came to Phoenix. I know her because we went to seminary around the same time, same seminary, and she's quite the celebrity there. But one of the things that she said really resonated with me, hit me like deep down, which is we were never meant to hold all of the world's hurt all at once. The compassion part of our brain was developed for small communities. Who just had a baby? Who needs some of these fresh muffins that I just made? Who's having mobility problems and I should go over and visit them? When are we all getting together for that barn raising? Tragic things happened, but not as often and not usually all at once. We had the space to be shocked, to grieve, to recover, and to be in community again. Every few weeks, there would be a messenger from afar with news of the state or the country, but rarely the rest of the world. Our brains were never meant to process all of the horrors of the world, all of the hours of the day, through news on our phones, social media posts, 24-hour cable news, or the hundreds of other ways we get barraged. That we can hear about genocide in Gaza and floods in Texas and global warming, refugees in Southeast Asia, and the militarization of Washington, D.C., and red carpets being rolled out for dictators within a few minutes. Although it may be possible, it doesn't mean that our bodies, our brains, and mostly our hearts know what to do with all of that pain and grief and fear. Honestly, we can't even know where to put it. And sometimes we've gotten so that we don't feel anything at all when we hear of these terrible things. In preparation for my sabbatical, I went off of Facebook for Lent. Now, I've done that every few years, more as an experiment to see how addicted I am to Facebook. The answer is a lot. This time, I went off of Facebook, and I haven't come back yet. If you go onto my profile picture, it still says off Facebook for Lent. With that small move, I realized how much my psyche was being barraged by heartbreaking news or anger or unhelpful one-sentence reductions of terribly complex issues. Even the humor around these sublime times usually have a tone of snark that brings out my own snark. And it's really not, while I am very good at snark, it is not my finest, kindest, or lovingest self. I realized that by just mindless scrolling of Facebook, Instagram, the New York Times, TikTok, whatever, I was creating what I identified as anxiety without my consent. So I was scrolling to self-soothe myself, right? Like you're just doing it when you got a second because that's how you kind of numb or self-soothe. And it's like, oh, there's a picture of someone's kitten. Oh, there's someone's grandchild. And boom, there's starving children in Palestine. And I'm just crying now. It's not that I don't care. I care a lot. It's just I hadn't prepared my heart in my numbless scrolling to be hit by that, to feel the deep empathy that it elicits in me and not go into rage or despair, or worse, not to see it at all. And then ready my heart to return to continue more about Taylor Swift's new album. October 3rd, I'm very excited. I decided I needed to take that information in on my terms. Once a day, through written media, I do not want to hear his voice, and you know who I mean. And when my heart can sit honestly, compassionately, and carefully with me. I know that social media is fine. I'm just saying this is my thing and what I've learned in this. You all figure out what your thing is. People have asked me a lot, so how was your sabbatical? What did you do? And it's like, I don't know how to answer that really. Some people use sabbaticals to study a new topic or a new culture. I used mine to study me. Luckily, it is a topic that is endlessly fascinating to me. In those 5 months, I made my world small. So very, very small. I learned during it, the Italian have a phrase. They have all the best phrases, right? And I'm going to butcher it. Coltivare l'orticello. That means to tend to your little garden. Now, an orticello is a small garden. Maybe it's a windowsill garden, a kitchen garden, or a tiny plot in your yard for vegetable. It is not the botanical garden. It is not, let's become a master gardener and turn our whole yard. It is just a little garden that you can care for. The coltivare l'orticello is about focusing what's in your control, finding solace and sustenance within your immediate environment and not being consumed by larger, overwhelming issues. For me, it doesn't mean not caring, but rather it is a counterbalance for knowing and carrying more than our brains can handle, more than mine is designed to hold. While others learn languages or subjects during their sabbatical, that I can tell you that I think I learned way more in the study of Christine by cultivating my little garden. So here's a few things that I learned. If you need to be in the present moment, get a puppy. We got one on Inauguration Day, and it has been our antidote to the overwhelmingness of these days. Karen and I will often say when something happens terrible in the world, just pet the puppy, Karen, just pet the puppy, when we hear one more cruel or absurd policy. If you need structure in your day, get a puppy, especially if you want to start waking up between 5 and 5:30 every morning. If you want to develop your compassion and caring for others, get a puppy. If you want to laugh a lot, get a puppy. That's Bodhi. If you want to get immersed in a culture that is the opposite of the patriarchy and anger and the tones that everyone doesn't trust each other, then get obsessed with the WNBA. Now, I mean, not just casually interested as I have been in years past. I am not even saying fall in love with your Mercury because they are worth falling in love with. I am saying I got obsessed. I watched multiple games a week. I went to as many home games as I could. I now listen to 5 WNBA podcasts a week. And it makes my heart swell because it is the world that I want to live in, where we are lifting up people, we smile at each other, and we are just rooting for amazingness. If you want to feel feral, grow out your hair. Go through that Justin Bieber stage to get to the mad scientist stage. Pull out the headbands, the baseball caps, and then have a really great professional tell you how to use a lot of hairspray. If you want a calmer home, don't get a puppy. But do support your wife's wish to also have a sabbatical from being the minister's wife. If you want to live small, move into a 20-foot camper in the woods for 6 weeks. If you want to learn how to do it creatively, do it with a puppy. If you want to hike or walk more, get a puppy. If you want to be inspired, go to as many national, state, and local parks and monuments as you can for your hikes. And if you want to laugh on those hikes, bring the puppy. If you want to feel deep love and the fragility of life, care for a sick relative. If you want to stretch your beliefs, attend different faiths' worship services. I highly support Pilgrim's Rest AME Church downtown on Mother's Day. It was a true treat. If you want adventure and humility, leave your purse and passport in a little cafe along the Rhine River in Germany. Take the most expensive Uber ride you've ever taken, and then cut it so close that you are running along the Rhine River to catch up with the boat you're supposed to be on, and frantically climb into that boat. If you want to heal from trauma, do therapy. If you're a minister on sabbatical, do a lot of it. If you want to get out of your head and into your body, do somatic therapy. And when you think you're done, do a lot more therapy. I made my world small. It was so small. I had a goal for each month, not each hour, not each day, not even each week. I had one goal for each month. And my body slowed down. My nervous system slowed down. My brain got reconnected with my body again. Calm and peace found me again. And I found joy even though the world is burning. Because if I can't have peace and joy, I am no good in this burning world. Now, I acknowledge the great privilege of getting to do this. I have told many of you that I've worked nonstop since I was a sophomore in high school. I can't begin to tell you how grateful I was every single day, and how grateful I still am that I got to do this, and how in awe I was of this gift of healing that you gave me. And I know that there are plenty of people that don't have the ability to put down the world for even a little bit. Many of you, but also people in detention centers, people afraid for their families' futures, afraid of where their gender-affirming care will be coming from, or whether their marriages are being threatened. I feel so fortunate and so grateful, and I wasted every minute of it by not wasting a minute of it. But let me also tell you something else I learned while I cultivated my little garden. My faith, and especially my faith in this community, makes me a better person. My world was intentionally small for 5 months, but I missed the nudges that practicing my faith in community give me to be more loving, inclusive, and grounded in my moral voice. While I loved being just Christine, the standards that I hold myself to as Reverend Christine are ones that I appreciate and that make me a better person. I can't do that on my own the same way that I can do it here. And I missed the sacred practice of being a leader in this community, where my job every day is to ask how my faith informs my actions and my leadership. I realize that this role keeps me grounded in my best moral self in the most creative and satisfying ways I've ever had in my life. So I am back. I am ready and excited to make my world bigger again, with boundaries. I am still carefully curating my media intake, and I am recognizing what my brain, my heart, and especially my body can take at one time. But I am excited to be back to share your journeys of grief and joy and struggle. I'm excited to be back and part of the resistance. In just these first 2 weeks back, I've already taken a shift being an immigration court watcher with my collar, and boy, did the judge act differently with us watching. And I've already reconnected with our immigrant partners and our organizations to see how we can help. And in a world that feels like we can't do anything but watch, I am so grateful to be a leader in a faith community where there are tangible ways that I can make a difference and where we can make a difference. So there's kind of a, what did you do on your summer vacation, Christine? So what does this have to do with you? Well, it means that you, A, have a healthier, happier, and rested minister. Yes. And it is my job, not yours, to try to keep this vibe as long as possible. That's right. But I'm also hoping that something in my experience, something in my story, something of that what I did can translate to your life. Because I can guarantee that you've been overwhelmed and stressed in these times too. Maybe you can get some of this through osmosis, just hanging and feeling the vibe right now. Maybe you can analyze what kinds of media you're taking in and how. Maybe you can look at the impact it's having on your body or your emotions. Maybe you can identify what is your particular garden to cultivate and the creative ways that maybe you can do that. Maybe you can realize that if your minister can do that much therapy, you can maybe try it. Or maybe you will decide to get a puppy. Or maybe not. There's one more Italian concept. El dolce far niente. I realize if you just say it in a really thick Italian accent, it doesn't matter how you pronounce it, right? It refers to the art of doing nothing, or more accurately, the sweetness of doing nothing. It's not about being lazy, but rather about the pleasure and joy that it can be found in slowing down and savoring the moment. It's about being present and finding contentment in simple, unstructured activities. It is countercultural to our American culture of productivity and goal-oriented achievement, where downtime is often seen as something we have to earn. Well, I did this thing, now I get some downtime. But I also have to fill it with errands and housework and all of those other things if I get downtime, right? Even God said, on the seventh day you should rest. But I actually like the Italians' version more. My beloveds, my beloved UUCP community, the world is on fire. And if we are on fire too, we will never be able to find the hose. If our bodies are on fire, we will not be able to save anyone else. This is not a short-term fire. This is a long-term fire, and we need to be able to care for ourselves so that we can get through it together. I wish you a garden that you can cultivate. I wish you the commitment to keeping it small and simple. I wish you the return of joy and peace in a world that desperately needs more joy and peace. It is true in my life right now. My challenge is to keep it that way, and I hope the same for you. So might it be.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you for that reminder so much. The world needs us, well-fed, well-rested. Here is a short chant by Abena Kumsum Davis, who sings with the Resistance Revival Chorus in New York. And do you want to hear it once before I ask you to sing it? Choir, or at least altos and baritones, why don't you do with me? Just the melody that they're going to be singing with us. It goes, what the world needs now is joy in resistance. We will fight the good fight with or without your assistance. Move out of the way if you can't support the mission. What the world needs now is joy in resistance. Got that much? Yeah? Let's stand. Or if you feel like it. Yeah, that's what rise and body your spirit means. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. What the world needs now is joy in resistance. We will fight the good fight with or without your assistance. Move out of the way if you can't support the mission. What the world needs now is joy in resistance. What the world needs now. Give me some faith. It's faith in resistance. We will fight the good fight with or without your assistance. Move out of the way if you can't support the mission. What the world needs now is faith in resistance. What the world needs now. Think about love. Is love in resistance. We will fight the good fight with or without your assistance. Move out of the way if you can't support the mission. What the world needs now. Some love is love in resistance. What the world needs and some hope is hope in resistance. We will fight the good fight with or without your assistance. Move out of the way if you can't support the mission. What the world needs now is joy in resistance. What the world needs now. Got some joy. Is joy in resistance. We will fight the good fight with or without your assistance. Move out of the way if you can't support the mission. What the world needs now is joy in resistance. Thanks, all. Please remain standing for our closing words.
After service ends, noon activities will be listed on the screen. We don't have refreshments for coffee hour, but you are welcome to stay in the sanctuary for a coffee-less coffee hour and chat. And I close now wishing you peace, wishing you courage. I wish for you calm. I wish for you intentional care. And I wish for you the comfort of community and the knowledge that we are not alone on this journey we call love. Go in peace. Go in love.